But yeah, she came back. She's like, Daddy, I scored 10 goals. What? And I looked at my wife and she's like, yeah, she did. I was like, holy cow. Yes. That's my girl. I go out like, she has practice on Thursday. I go out with her early and start doing little drills with her. Like I chase her with the ball so she can have control and get her to turn and maneuver.
Tailgate for the games?
Yeah.
Start taking bets. Yeah. Oh. Welcome to we're on. We need Brett. Brett's off again this week for the Magic game, time constraints, that whole thing. I'm Marty, and
he's holding out.
He's holding out. Negotiations haven't gone well. He wants more shots. This is JJ back for a second week. If you guys missed it last week, JJ's second appearance. If you liked it last week, it'll be a lot like that because it's me and JJ. If you didn't, well, too bad.
Keep watching. We'll change your mind.
Yeah. So we're going to start off. We're at Public House here on University, connected with Shamrock Liquors. Both fine establishments. Feel free to patronize them. We're going to go ahead and start this week. We're going to do a little bit of NBA, NHL playoffs, all that good stuff. But one of my favorite times of the year, as a Lions fan, you don't have a lot of hope for most of the season. You have like week 1 and week 2, and then after you're 0-2, it's pretty much downhill from there. But as far as the hope part goes, the NFL draft, everybody can hope that they're going to draft the next Tom Brady, the next Patrick Mahomes, the next Kyler Murray. Looks like he's going to be going number 1.
We better get it in the second round because we ain't got to pick in the first round.
Yeah, JJ's a Cowboys fan. I'm sure everybody knows they don't have a first round pick. So that kind of takes away some of his hope. I mean, you got a decent team already, though. So
yeah, I'll take Amari Cooper for a first round.
Yeah. I think I would take that too. You know who I wouldn't take in the 8th overall pick is a tight end. We were talking about it before the podcast. It was like being in an abusive relationship with Eric Ebron, and then as soon as he leaves and you see him on like Instagram or something with that, and then he's looking a lot better now. You know, he's doing new things, living his best life, going to the Pro Bowl for Indianapolis.
But you said you wouldn't even take Travis Kelce.
Yeah, so I was
for the 8th pick.
I kind of still stand by it. There's a couple of highly projected tight ends. There's T.J. Hawkinson, Noah Fant, and I'm just looking at mock drafts and I'm seeing the Lions taking a tight end, and I'm just getting flashbacks of Eric Ebron.
Big E.
Yeah.
So I just gotta say real quick, the Magic game is about to start. So if I start zoning out, just give me a little tap. I'll come back into it.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Kind of missing part of the Magic game, but we'll still get to see it here. We'll stay on the NFL draft for a little bit, though. Is there any kind of team needs that you think, as a Cowboys fan, like that you want to get? I mean, I know you don't have a first round pick, but you can still find.
We need corners and safeties. I mean, we got Byron Jones, Pro Bowl, his 3rd year. He's been to Pro Bowl twice, so he's great. We just signed. What was his name? Iola I think it's Ioka.
Iloka?
Yeah.
George Iloka? Yeah.
Yeah, it's George Iloka. We just signed him, so hopefully he can stay.
Yeah.
And we need to get our offensive line back.
Yeah, as a Lions fan.
We need to sign more.
As a Lions fan, I'll take pretty much anything except for a tight end. As long as we don't pull like some kind of a Tampa Bay thing where we take a kicker. I mean,
yeah.
Anyway, I'm not gonna discredit them from being able to do this, but it's hard to mess up when you have a top 10 pick. I mean, for the most part, it seems like in recent years.
Tim Couch.
Well, yeah.
Ryan Leaf.
Quarterbacks are tough though, because quarterbacks are always drafted higher than they should be. It's almost like if you play quarterback, you can almost go a full round ahead of where you should go. Like I'm hearing, I watch a lot of college football, and it's not that I haven't heard of these guys, but it's like Drew Lock and Daniel Jones, and it's just the whole thing. Like when Mitch Trubisky was coming out, and he's been all right in Chicago, but he's going in the first round, and you see all these guys who you could draft in the first round, and then by the time these quarterbacks who go in the first round, who shouldn't really be first round picks, by the time you cycle through the 4 years, you still have these like defensive ends that got drafted after them. Or other
that are balling.
Yeah, that are on their second contract that could have been on your team, and then you're drafting another quarterback in the first round again. So I know, as far as like draft strategies, there's a ton of different ways you can go, but
I think the Cowboys' first pick is second round, number 58, and I gotta be honest, I don't know who's that low.
Well, I mean,
I don't know who's gonna be there.
Once you get to that point, it's unless you're like a draft expert. There's still guys that you've heard of and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
a lot of these guys, like a lot of the better value picks, are in the second, third, fourth round. Because then if you hit on one of
They're
those,
cheap and they hit.
yeah, if you hit on one of those guys, you don't have to pay them for a while. And then once you do, you could just move on and draft another one in there.
Like roulette, baby, you hit that one number, you're good for a while.
Exactly. Yeah. If you hit on a green or if you hit on a specific number, you're good.
Yeah, the specific number. But like you were saying, you could hit on somebody like the Patriots did with your boy, Tom Brady. Nobody thought he was going to be anything.
Yeah, I'm almost kind of
it's a
mad
freak.
I'm kind of mad at myself for bringing that up, weirdly enough, because everybody uses that as an outlier every year. It's like, oh, Brady got drafted in the 6th round. It's
Well,
okay.
Gronk went the 4th round.
Well, we're talking about, okay, let's not, then other than the Patriots. Most people don't hit on their 6th round picks like that.
Yeah.
So to like hold out your hope that you're going to find a quarterback in that round is kind of crazy. Yeah, so when we were talking about the value, the whole when you get drafted in a later round, Frank Clark, he went to Michigan, and then he recently got traded today from Seattle to the Chiefs. And the Seattle got it back. He was drafted in the end of the 2nd round because he had like a domestic violence issue in his senior year. He got kicked off the team.
Yeah.
So
like Tyreek Hill.
yeah, so well, yeah, like a lot of guys recently.
Yeah.
But so he goes in like the end of the 2nd round now, and then he has all this production for the Seahawks, and then now they get rid of him. They get rid of him once they have to pay him, and then they get a 1st round pick, a 2nd round pick, and they have a pick swap option if they want to in the 3rd year. So
that was the other thing. I saw the 1st round this year and the 2nd round next year.
1st round,
I didn't
2nd
see the
round,
swap.
and a pick swap. Yeah. So I mean, as it kind of sucks not to have a 1st round pick if you're a
Yeah.
Cowboys fan.
I know.
You can, well, what I'm saying is, in the bright side, you can look at if you get a guy in the 2nd round, like you get the production out of him, and then you don't even have to bother with re-signing him. It just depends on
As long as you hit on that
yeah, it depends on your front office.
first 2
yeah.
picks.
But yeah, there's other than like a bunch
The
of
Chiefs wasted no time signing him again.
no, yeah,
5 years,
It-
103?
It's almost like one of those things. Like once they know they're gonna get him, they just start negotiating right away.
Yeah,
And-
they
or-
had to have it set up.
Yeah, and he's not gonna stay there unless you give me an extension or re-sign me.
He's a good player.
Yeah, I mean, and then obviously, like you said, he gets re-signed immediately. So they traded him with the idea of replacing D Ford, who they traded or who they didn't re-sign earlier, who went to the 49ers. So now they have a
Yeah, the
young.
one that messed up their chances in the playoffs.
Wait, what did he do again?
He had the pass interference
Oh yeah, I
for
mean,
no reason.
yeah, it doesn't always all come down to one play. I know what you're saying
There
though.
was something else that he did during that game. Maybe a dumb pass interference call. Like he had no reason to do it. Which pass interference calls nowadays are like, oh, damn, there's a flag.
It's almost like
but he
like
blatantly.
anytime something good happens for your team, me and Dan always watch football, and it's like, hold on. You're like waiting for the other shoe.
Where's
to
the
drop.
flag?
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
the flag?
There's no flag. And then you wait 5 seconds now, and then you celebrate.
That's what I was in the playoffs when Amari Cooper hit that little tipper and then scored right away. I'm looking for the flag before I cheer, and then all of a sudden, I blow up.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen, Aiden, Ariel, if y'all are watching.
Jen, Aiden, Ariel.
Yep, that's my wife and kids.
Shout out to Ariel. 10 goals, and
10 goals on Saturday.
if you took the under in her youth soccer game, you probably lost all because of her. So
Yeah.
you find JJ, you can win over to find him.
Hopefully she'll get me in the Olympics in 2032.
You're not gonna have to be like one of those parents who has to pay to get their kids on the rowing team.
Yeah, exactly.
Frank Clark, I don't feel like he was like a household name before today. I mean, obviously once you're all over ESPN for a whole day, especially on like a slower day.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, but he was, last year he was 6th in sacks. He had like 13 or 14 sacks. He has like double digits the past couple of years.
Definitely now Michael Bennett has been gone. He has more time to shine for himself.
And then I guarantee you now, if you look at like the Seahawks have a smart front office. So as soon as you see they trade this guy away, they get a 1st round and a 2nd round pick. And now I guarantee you they're going to use one of those picks on a defensive end. And
Yeah,
they'll try to cycle them out. So that's the difference between like winning teams like the Seahawks or like good front offices. Then you have other teams who it's just like they seem like they have no plan, and then they just sign these guys.
What does that say? 12-1?
It's like 15-0, I think.
Yeah, it's close. And look, we just turned it over. Sorry, Magic.
But we're watching the NBA playoffs right now. JJ's doing a little play-by-play illegally, but
Yeah. No, I'm just saying the score. That's
definitely don't have the
Oh,
rights.
he's down the middle. Oh.
Definitely don't have the rights to that. But yeah. So the Pistons get swept. So that was pretty much the end of that. I was gonna tell Brett earlier that I think we're not gonna have to worry about him being here next Tuesday because I think this is probably gonna be your guys' last game of the season.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think we're gonna win.
It's tough. I mean, the thing that's crazy about that, we're talking now about the Magic and Raptors series. All you guys had to do, I know it's easy to say, but all you had to do is win one at home, and then it would have been 2-2. So now it's tough. You go back for this game, and you're on the road,
Yep.
and the Raptors know they can close it out, and then. Especially in the East, if they're the 2 seed, so if they wind up going past this series to the next series, rest is going to be important. If you wind up playing the Bucks, so players definitely know that they don't want to have to go back to Orlando.
Yeah, I think they're going to close it out, and
Yeah, they don't-
Kawhi is definitely going to take it under control.
Yeah, they don't want to go back to Orlando, and then
14-3.
I saw on ESPN today. It was like, where do the Pistons go from here? Because we just got swept by the Bucks. It's like there's not really anywhere to go from here. The teams in the NBA now don't have as much hope if you're in like the middle of the country or whatever. Everybody wants to play in New York. Everybody wants to play in LA or Miami. And not even Miami anymore. It's like 4 places where people want to play. So
Yeah.
when they had the question on TV, it was on mute. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, I don't really know what you can do. Like, you're lucky to have Blake Griffin. Through like the underhanded dealings of the Clippers, they told him they weren't going to trade him. He resigns. They trade him almost immediately.
Yeah.
So other than something weird like
Stan Van
that,
Gundy's got that persuasion.
other than something like that weird happening, you have to draft a Giannis Antetokounmpo, or you have to.
Yeah, he's not staying.
I think he's going to stay.
You think he's going to pull Westbrook?
A lot of the stuff that people say about him, I mean, not that you can't change your mind if you look at like Kevin Durant or any number of guys who say they're going to stay and they end up leaving. But yeah, from everything I read, and then he denies LeBron's invitation to do Space Jam with him. That was, I think he's kind of like going the other route. Like, I think he's going to be one of those guys that winds up staying.
He wants to change the front.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm doing it my way.
It also helps that they have a really good team around him. They've put good.
They have Chris. Well, they got guys. Chris Middleton was not who he is now.
Yeah, he was.
When he was with the Nets,
Yeah,
he started with.
He was always good, but he was never like on the level he's at
Yeah, he's
now.
not an all-star.
They had Brogdon that had Brogdon was shooting like 80, 50, and 40 or something like that earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Which is like impossible to do. Like 80% from free throw, 50 from the field, and 40 from 3 is like a big NBA statistical number that is like really hard to reach. He was doing it for a while. So yeah, and also it doesn't hurt that they can offer him like $40 million more than everybody else.
Yep.
Although with everybody leaving nowadays, it doesn't really seem like that's necessarily.
No, all the endorsement money.
Yeah, they make more of the money off the court, but I haven't really seen him doing that many commercials. I know you don't do only commercials; you get sponsored and stuff like that.
Yeah, with whatever shoes he's wearing.
But I don't know what else the NBA could do as far as that whole question, like where do the Pistons go from here? Is like what else can you do other than to incentivize players staying?
Staying and draft well.
Yeah, but
That's all you can do. And y'all got a good coach after Stan.
yeah,
You got Toronto's
he was
coach,
the
didn't you?
Raptors
Yeah.
coach. Yeah. They seem to be doing fine without him, though. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a 2 seed, we're the 8 seed. They do
Try
have.
to say Nick Nurse. They ain't Nick Nurse. That's Kawhi.
Yeah, they have
And
Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard. And Ibaka's blown up this year. What the hell was that when we traded everything for him?
Yeah, he's been the missing piece on like 6 different teams.
The missing link.
It's crazy to think too. You remember years ago when Ibaka and Harden were both on the Thunder, and the big question in the offseason after they lost to the Heat in the finals is, are we going to pay Ibaka or Harden? And everyone's like, oh, Ibaka's like Defensive Player of the Year, and then you look at what Harden has turned into now.
And he was good back then. It's not like this is a surprise.
You talking about Harden?
Yeah, Harden. He comes off the bench and he kills it.
Yeah, he was.
I don't think nobody thought he's going to be where he is now
Yeah.
back then, but he was good back then.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at guys like that, and it's like, how many players could you take and give them their own team, and then that player turns into not Harden, but they put up those kind of numbers.
Yeah, not many.
Not many, yeah.
LeBron, KD, Harden, maybe Westbrook.
Right. Well,
No, not maybe Westbrook. Definitely Westbrook.
The big thing now that's been going on the past couple of days is like the debate of would you rather have Damian Lillard or Russell Westbrook. And it's just funny to me. I'm a huge Russell Westbrook fan, but it's hard to be an apologist for what's going on in these playoffs. Like, he's pretty much going toe to toe with this guy. Their teams are pretty similar, despite the seeding. I mean, OKC was a 3 seed for some of the year, and you have Paul George. So I mean, as much as I love Russell Westbrook, I almost have to go with Damian Lillard now. What do you think about that? Would you rather have Westbrook or Lillard as your best player?
I think Westbrook is an overall better player, but for a team, this is basketball. You got 4 other guys with you, and I know he gets his assists every night, double digits, but his attitude, I feel like, just brings people down.
Westbrook's attitude?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
He sticks up for his teammates, but just when they lose, his attitude is just garbage.
Yeah, the whole next question thing.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
I feel like the whole attitude thing sometimes is overblown. But I feel like as long as like the guys in the locker room like you, it's only about like who you're with on the team. I don't think any of his teammates are sitting there like caring that he's disrespecting a reporter or anything like that. But I'm just gonna take the other side and go with Lillard, just because if you're a guard in the NBA now, the whole game is from outside in. You shoot threes, and then people have to come out to guard you, and then you can drive and kick.
Lillard can do that.
And Westbrook he's had decent shooting seasons before, but this is not one of them. It's been terrible all season long as far as like shooting goes. So guys just like sag off of him, and it kind of like clogs up the paint a little bit. But and also I can't help, they're down 3-1, and they have Paul George. Paul George is arguably better than Lillard and Westbrook. So I don't know. As much as I love him, I think
I just said arguably. I don't think George. I think George was.
This has been his best season, though. I feel like
it has. He was MVP talks in the beginning of the year, but I think he was a lot better before he broke his leg.
I don't know.
He's getting back to it.
I think this was his best season. I think he's at his best now. He had a shoulder injury, so that kind of excuses some of it, I guess. But at some point, like, you can only go to the playoffs so many times and not win. I know it's tough. You're in the West and everything, but everybody else out there is in the West too. Like,
yeah, at least all the good fucking teams, except for the Bucks.
Well, yeah, the top 4 in the East are pretty good, but
the Celtics, I think, could be a lot better.
I told Stretch that I think the Bucks are going to sweep the Celtics.
They're going to sweep them, huh?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm going off of what I've watched with the Celtics all season. I know they just swept the Pacers, but the Pacers didn't have their best player.
Yeah, they didn't have their best player. It's former Magic.
It's awesome. It's awesome to see what they've done all season to try to stay in like the top 4 as far as like seeding goes. But once you lose it's not even just that you lose your best player. You lose your best like shot creator by himself. So when they're ahead like 10 points with 4 minutes left, and the defense like starts getting more stifling towards the end, they don't have anybody to create a shot. So they're just missing all these difficult shots. They're not getting any easy shots, and they can't make any tough shots. So yeah, I'm just thinking, sweeping the Pacers.
I don't think Milwaukee's gonna sweep them.
I mean,
Kyrie's got experience.
Do you think it's gonna be like a close series, or you just?
I don't think it's gonna be. I think the Celtics win one.
Just giving them the one game at home.
Give them one game at home.
Yeah, I still don't think.
I think it's gonna be game 1. Not game 1.
Game 3. Yeah. I still don't think that's like that big of a deal, even if they do win one game at home. I mean, shit.
No, it's still embarrassing. They haven't clicked this year. They were better at the end of the year without Gordon Hayward.
The only 2 teams that are going to get swept are the Pacers and the Pistons. So.
Yeah, it's already done.
Even the Clippers somehow found a way to win against Golden State. Like, what the hell?
That game, they came back 31 points.
That game was insane.
I think the Warriors, like we said last week, they're just bored.
Yeah,
they're just
and
waiting.
And then once the playoffs start, it's going to be really fun to see. In the next series, the Rockets, when they play the Rockets, I mean, the Rockets are up 3-1.
Yeah, with Chris Paul this time.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I was one of the people saying that, or one of the people that wasn't saying last year. Everyone's like, oh, if Chris Paul wouldn't have got hurt, if Chris Paul wouldn't have got hurt, the Rockets would have won. And I was like, I don't even know if that's true, even if he was healthy. But this year, you're gonna get to see it. Theoretically, if he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope he doesn't. I hope it's like
Oh my God.
What's going on?
We're missing everything. We got 3 points still. Remember when I just said it was 12-3? It's still 18-3 now. We haven't scored a goddamn point.
This is good. I kind of like this as like a thread.
Oh, and they're nailing threes. It's like 22-3.
So we might be able to call that one now. So it'll probably be Toronto and Philly.
Yeah, you could definitely call that one now.
I mean, unless they have the Clippers game, maybe they just need to get down 31 first, then come back.
Yeah, we don't have Lou Williams.
Fair enough.
That guy's a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, our Flash, Terrence Ross, he just has not been on.
Well, I think maybe he's just like a double agent and he's just like tanking. He's just tanking now. Just
He
trying
loves
to
Toronto still.
finally help Toronto out more than when he was there.
Hey, I'm gonna fuck it up for y'all. Just give me a ring too.
So the only series right now that's tied is Denver and the
Antonio,
Spurs. Yeah. And honestly, I kind of want Denver to win. I'm not really interested in watching the Spurs all that much. I know it's
Really, not even after this year where they have nobody but DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge.
that's kind of why I'm not really interested in watching them. I don't want to watch a bunch of like glue guys out there that are coached really well.
Yeah,
it's just not
that's why I love Pop.
It's just not as entertaining to me. I'd rather watch Jokic and see what he can do. Yeah, it's just crazy looking at it. OKC is going to lose again. And they had Paul George and Westbrook. I wonder if Paul George regrets staying there at all, or if he'd rather miss the playoffs with
What did
LeBron.
he do? A 5-year deal or a 4-year deal?
I don't remember. I think it was like 5.
Oh my God, they're just nailing shit. It's 25-3. Woo! Hey, we're gonna go in the history book as to lose by the most points ever.
Wait, what?
We'll be in the history book.
You want to come back by the most points ever?
Of course.
4-year deal. Do you know how much it was for? The max,
4-year
obviously,
deal.
right? 137.
Oh yeah, it was max. But see, that was one of them signs that nobody saw coming. Everybody thought he was going that way.
Yeah.
Then
for
Oklahoma
sure.
just snagged him. That's what Toronto was trying to do with Kawhi.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy to see too for Kawhi. Like depending on how they do in the playoffs, if he stays, because I don't think anybody knows anything about Kawhi at all. So even if he was gonna leave, where the hell is he gonna go? I don't think he wants to play with LeBron. He's like one of those guys in the class.
He definitely doesn't.
He's like one of those guys in the class with Giannis, where it's like I'm not gonna say anything. Nobody has any idea where I'm gonna go or anything like that. And it'd be cool if they all wound up on the Pistons. I don't really see it.
Yeah.
They're gonna form a super team in Detroit.
Hey, come on down to Orlando. There's no state taxes. Come on, guys.
There's also no state tax in Miami too, in Houston.
We're not talking about Miami, okay?
And a bunch of other states.
Talking about Orlando right now. That's what's good about sports. You can hope and dream until it doesn't happen.
Yeah, until your hopes get crushed every single year. You see, Odell Beckham was talking trash about.
I saw the highlights, but I didn't read it yet.
No, I didn't read it at all. I probably shouldn't have brought it up before I read
A
it.
fun stat that I heard on the way here on ESPN was the Magic have made the playoffs 14 years out of their 30 years.
I don't know if that's that interesting.
That is, it's half. That's the Suns. Or
Are you saying that's bad?
no, I'm saying it's good.
Yeah,
50% of our existence, we've been in the playoffs.
Yeah, but half the teams make the playoffs, though. I mean, it's more interesting that like the Marlins have won 3 World Series, right?
2.
2 World Series, and they've been a team for what, 20 years? That's more crazy. To
Well,
me.
we had 2 chances to win.
Yeah.
But then we got swept and then won 1 game.
that whole Nick Anderson thing, right? Was that in the finals? With the
What
free,
with
with
Nick?
the with the free. Oh, not Nick Anderson. Who am I thinking of with the free throws? Nick Anderson. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. You just blocked it out of your memory completely.
That's my favorite player. I don't talk bad about Nick.
Yeah, just if your life was on the line, you don't want him shooting a free throw for you. That's all I'm gonna say about
No,
it.
I don't want Shaq shooting a free throw for me. Of course I want him. It's just choke. But that would have been just 1 game. Against the Rockets with Akeem and Clyde Drexler and Sam Cassell, Robert Horry.
Odell said, asked the coach, I begged him to go to each and every one of those games, actually for my team weights, misspelled, and to be on the sideline for home games. He told me no. Anything else, sir? To whoever been tweeting, asking why I didn't travel while I was hurt next. Like, that didn't really trash it. I wonder if there's anything worse.
Yeah, that didn't sound too bad.
No. I guess they're just making a big deal out of
I
nothing.
mean, he needs grammar class, but
I gave them everything I had, bruh. Sunday. Just put some respect on my name. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying nothing, and trust me, I got a lot. It sounds like he is saying a lot. I don't know. Yeah, I can't wait for football season to start again, though. As much as I love the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs, all the college spring games going on.
there's 3 minutes left in the game. We're down 19 already.
In the first quarter.
Sorry, not the game. The first quarter. Jeez Louise. I guess this jersey ain't lucky at all. At least we were close until halftime.
You need like a rally cap or something, like switch it around or like put the jersey on backwards, something like that.
Might have some flip up, but oh, you know what? We'll do it like this. We'll do it like this. There we go.
There you go.
Baseball rally cap, baby.
See if they go on a run now. They're only down 20 so far. What's going on in baseball? I saw that Hader. We were talking about him a couple podcasts ago. The reliever. I think he's in the Brewers, right?
Brewers, yeah.
So he had the 9-pitch inning where it was just like 9 fastballs in a row. Everybody swing, miss, like straight immaculate inning strikeouts. And Bellinger's been on a tear so far this year. So Bellinger hit some kind of a crazy, like pulled the ball. He's a lefty. He hits like a monster home run off of him. And somebody looked up the stat. I think it was on the Levitard show, and it's like how have left-handers been doing against Hader this year? He's like he's given up 1 hit. That was it, the home run.
The home run, the only one.
So that just tells you how good Bellinger's doing so far this year.
Yeah, man, he's on a tear. Yelich is on an incredible tear.
Yeah, it's pretty much him and Yelich. So
if I saw something that was Yelich is on pace to hit 91 home runs. That's what he's on the pace for. Of course, he's gonna fall off, have a slump.
I'm not sure. I think that might be a record, though.
Yeah, it might be by like 20. There was 91 home runs and 214 RBIs.
Yeah. Say the Marlins are losing that trade so far.
Yeah, they are.
The main guy who they got back in that trade was Lewis Brinson. So Yelich has 13 home runs. Lewis Brinson has 12 hits. I mean, it's still early, but I'd say...
The Marlins always fuck up. They win the World Series. Right after that, they'd sell the team.
Yeah, that was more of like a being cheap thing, though. I mean, it's just...
2 times in a row.
Yeah.
Well, not in a row, but 2 World Series in a row. Oh, it's insane.
So now that your Magic are out, who are you picking to win? Who I know you had the Magic
I like the Spurs, man. I don't think they're gonna win.
That's what I'm saying. Who are you gonna? You're not gonna pick the Spurs to win the championship,
no,
are you?
I gotta go with where everybody's going. Golden State, man. They got the best squad.
I'm going with the Bucks. I put money on the Bucks. Yeah.
So what do you think? Them and Golden State?
Oh
in the
yeah,
finals?
yeah. I'm not crazy. I'm putting Golden State in the finals. Yeah, for sure. I do think the Rockets series is going to be a good series, though. I hope it goes 7 games.
After watching this Magic series and watching how the Raptors' defense has stepped it up, I might have them into the finals.
The Raptors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look a lot better than I thought they were.
It's tough. I mean, especially you have a guy like Kawhi. It would be cool to see as far as matchups go. Like that's why I can watch basketball. For me is not like hockey or baseball. I can't just watch 2 random teams in those sports. But when I'm watching basketball, you can give me like even the 2 crappiest teams in the league, and I'll watch it, and you can find a matchup of 2 players that's interesting to watch.
Yeah.
So if it's like, say if it's Bucks and Raptors, you're gonna have Kawhi maybe guarding Giannis. Like, what better matchup could you have as far as playoffs go at that? It's just gonna be like an explosion at the rim. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad.
I don't know about explosion because they're both great defenders. Of course, Kawhi is all defender.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much he's going to let you slide by him and explode before he fouls your ass.
That's the thing about that. As good as the Bucks are, it's Giannis making everybody else better.
Yeah.
So there's been times where like they'll let Harden do it, or they'll let like Donovan Mitchell do it, and these guys just go crazy as far as points go. But you let him get everything he can get, and nobody else gets anything. So I mean, they could just Kawhi's just going to try to bottle him up or do whatever he does. And then try to let Brogdon, if he comes back by then. Or,
it is interesting because neither one of them need double team. I feel like they can both at least try to handle each other.
I feel like if you sent Kawhi somebody to help him to double team somebody, he would like send them back away.
Yeah.
No, I don't need that.
I
help.
got this.
He's. I've talked about it before. I don't remember if you ever remember seeing this when LeBron's at the foul line in one of the Miami series against the Spurs. And he literally like looks back over his shoulder and he sees Kawhi coming back in the game to guard him. And you see him, he turns, he's like, oh fuck. Like the first time I ever saw him like nervous, not nervous, but like he had that reaction of somebody guarding him. He's like, this fucking.
Somebody knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like, this guy again. And if LeBron James gives you that kind of respect, you just kind of have to respect him.
Uh-oh.
What's that? Was that Vucevic?
No, it's Michael Carter Williams.
I can't see.
Which was the Rookie of the Year. What, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
He's another guy. I feel like he's been on like 10 teams.
Yeah,
he's like the final piece for like 10 different teams.
He fell off. Well, we had him on 2 10-day contracts, and then when we made the playoffs, we signed them again. So what do you think the Bucks are going to pull it, and you think it's Golden State?
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks against Golden State. I think, well, I don't know. According to Stretch's theory from last week, we were talking about that on air, right? Oh, okay. So Stretch, our producer, if you guys didn't already know, he had this theory last week where it was kind of true when I tried to look it up and disprove it. The theory was that every single
You got the death stare right there.
What? No, I did. I tried to
caught it.
I tried to look it up. I tried to disprove it, and then like once I looked it up year by year. So his theory is like every NBA championship team, you have to have at least 2 Hall of Famers on the team.
Yeah, I remember talking.
We were talking about that, yeah. And I looked it up. I mean, obviously everyone's gonna know about the outlier team, the Pistons, the one year they won it. But I mean, the way that basketball Hall of Fame is, you can almost say like, is Ben Wallace a Hall of Famer? As far as like defense goes, is Chauncey a Hall of Famer?
No, he's not.
Yeah. Either way, they don't have 2, and if they do, it's like barely 1. So going by his theory, like, do the Bucks have 2 Hall of Famers right now? I don't think so. I mean, a lot of the guys are. I know you can kind of project it out. Giannis will be there if he stays on this path, but Chris Middleton, I don't think is going to wind up being a Hall of Famer. What other starters would they have?
Robin Lopez.
Oh, come on. You're saying it seriously, but is Robin Lopez
Oh, wait,
a
no,
Hall of
that's
Famer?
Brooke, right? That's Brooke they got. Not
Yeah. But
Robin's not even going to be on the ballot ever.
no. But is Brooke Lopez a Hall of Famer?
No.
He's close.
Has he won a championship?
No.
I don't even think he'll ever be on the ballot.
Yeah,
The Lopez brothers?
Like I was saying though, the Basketball Hall of Fame is really weird. Like Vlade Divac just got in this year.
Yeah.
But like his theory is like technically correct. But that's the only thing where the Warriors have it. What other teams? The Rockets go by that theory. The Rockets have Chris Paul and James Harden. They're both going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Portland, Lillard. And of course, we're like projecting because all these guys are still like, young in their career for the most part. But
Right now, Lillard is on the path to be.
Yeah, and that's
CJ McCollum.
to go back to what I was saying about the whole Westbrook and Lillard argument. It's like people are just discovering, like regular fans are just discovering Damian Lillard in the playoffs this year, when he's been good for years.
He's been good for years.
Ever since he came in the league, he's been good.
Yeah.
And it's almost crazy. And they don't even have Nurkic right now, and they're still up 3-1. That's like their 3rd best player behind
There's a
Henry
Giannis
McCollum.
commercial.
What is this for?
I don't know. But
Look at him dunking on it. We're watching some commercial, and Giannis is dunking on a high school rim. I don't even. Oh, Metro PCS. Wow.
So what about CJ McCollum?
Yeah. What was I saying? No. I was saying it seems like everyone's like discovering Damian Lillard for the first time this year. Like as far as casual fans go, it's like he's been good for years. So
He's been an all-star almost every year.
pretty much every year. Yeah. I mean, it's just. I think a lot of it has to do with him playing always at 10 o'clock or 10:30.
Yeah, the West Coast.
I'm gonna watch the games either way, but it does help that I'm always up late. Like the 10:30 games are the ones I get to watch the most. So, as far as Hall of Famers go, though, CJ McCollum, you can't really project that out. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think.
OKC would have been a better candidate if you go by that, because it would have been Paul George probably, especially if you count like the Olympics and everything, and then Russell Westbrook. Spurs, it doesn't matter. I don't think they're gonna win that series anyways. But
You don't think they're gonna win that series?
it's 2-2 right now, so it goes 1-1-1 for the rest of the
We're
way.
gonna do a
right?
friendly bet on there.
Yeah.
What? $20?
Sure. I'm getting the Nuggets, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just
I'm
to be
getting
clear.
the Spurs. Absolutely.
But it's it goes 1-1-1 the rest of the way, right? Like home
Yeah.
away, home away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Denver's got the next game at home. I mean, I got the 2 seed and they got 2 home games, so I'd be pretty confident about that. But as far as Denver and Hall of Famers go, their best player is Jokic. A lot of people talk about people like casual fans not knowing about a guy. Like people.
I didn't know too much about him before this year.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just if you don't watch the NBA like day in and day out, it's not like a household name. He's not doing Metro PCS commercials and stuff
On
like
high
that.
schoolers.
He's not dunking on high school rims. I just thought that was a really interesting theory that he came up with. And I thought he stole it from somewhere, but I guess it was like an original thought. Not to sound too surprised about that.
Toward his own horn.
Not to sound too surprised about that, but I mean that if you go back to all the teams, most teams have 2 Hall of Famers. So
Yeah.
that would put my Bucks pick in trouble
Magic
there.
don't even have one.
Yeah, but no, we're talking about teams that are going to win the championship. Sorry, Brett.
Yeah, well, that puts us out.
What else? What do you got going on in? What else is going on in baseball right now? I mean, the Tigers are my team.
Chris Davis is killing it.
Which one?
The one for Oakland.
One with a K.
Yeah, the one with a K.
The other one with a C. He got his first hit a little while ago.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago after 57 games.
I don't even know if it was 2
games.
weeks ago. He went a long time without getting a hit.
Since last season.
He should spell his name with a K, and the other one should be with a C.
So,
Stretch told the joke to me, and then I said it, and then he laughed at his own joke.
yeah.
That's what just happened right there. Oh man.
Bryce Harper getting ejected.
Yeah,
I love when he does that though. Baseball needs that crap.
Yeah, so you're on the side that I'm on, where it's like it's not really hurting anybody, but you're on the side, you're against bat flips, or do you not care about that?
I don't care about that.
Okay,
If I knock a big home run off you, fuck you. I'll flip it towards you.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not like when a pitcher like strikes somebody out for the third inning of a big inning,
cheers.
and he cheers. It's not like the guy goes up to him with a bat and starts bashing his kneecaps.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that?
No batter ever looks back and be like, man, shut the fuck up.
What
But you're in your glove.
What is it about baseball to where it's like we're not allowed to celebrate or have fun or do anything? Like,
Unless you're on defense, then you can.
just
There's no offensive fun.
why?
The unwritten rules, son.
The unwritten rules. I want to see it's like the NFL. I mean, last year got kind of corny with the celebrations when the 700th team did the team picture and they all ran up and everyone I've seen that enough. Like, if we're gonna allow celebrations back in the NFL, can we at least make it a little bit like creative? I mean, you have all week. You're not allowed to practice anymore because of the new rules. You can't hit each other. You might as well come up with some
stupid.
do some kind of choreographed 3-minute dance at least. If you get a flag or something.
Like at my wedding, we had a choreograph, baby. Well, like Adam Thielen with the limbo. I love that.
Yeah, something. There shouldn't be 2 memorable ones all year. It should see something every game, especially if you're going to allow it back in the league. Don't just do the same thing. But that's what I want in baseball. Like you said, if the farther the home run, the more you get the more times you get the flip. If it's like a home run and it barely makes it over, you just gently set your bat down. But if you hit it 480 feet, you can just take the bat, spin it on your head, and run down the
I'm going to turn around and throw it as hard as I can at the backstop. Run down the baseline.
You do that thing where you take the bat and you hold it, and then you jump over it, and you jump back over it, and you do
something funny.
And you do that all the way down the first baseline. Or you remember those? Do you remember those the stretches you used to do when you run, the karaoke's where you're running and you put one leg?
Yeah.
Just do that or something like that.
Just look at the picture and be like, it's just because of my hit, bro, not you. And then do it.
It's nothing personal. I would have done this if I was against anybody.
I do like how if you do something stupid like that, a pitcher will be like, all right, I'm going to hit you next time. No matter if it's the pitcher that game or the next game, when they don't forget, they're going to hit you with that ball.
That's what I'm saying, though. Why do you get to throw a baseball at somebody because you didn't do your job?
At 95 miles an hour.
Don't give up a home run then. I mean, if he gets a strikeout, he's not going to, like I say, he's not going to launch the bat at you.
We listen to the same Levitard show that.
Yeah, this is the opposite though of when.
That's what it was. Bring the glove.
Yeah, this is the opposite though of when I talk to Brett. It's he's on the side of act like you've been there, and I'm like, yeah, it's sports. It's supposed to be entertaining. What's more entertaining than
celebrations. Celebrations are the best.
Only home runs though. Don't be that's not like when they do an interception. When they get an interception in the NFL, and they're doing the team photo in the end zone. I'm like, all right, it was just a pick. Your team's gonna fumble it anyways in 2 plays.
If you're the team I cheer for, you're fucked. Whether you intercept it or not, you're about to get it right back over. Yeah, I love celebration in sports.
Yeah, anybody, I see a couple of new people just joined, a couple of people are watching. Feel free to comment in if you want anything else to talk about. If you have any topics or anything like that you want to talk about.
In case y'all want to know, Magic are losing by 17.
Yeah,
no comeback has happened.
Not 2 Hall of Famers on that team, I don't think.
Nah.
But I mean, I guess if we're going team by team now.
Oh my God, he just shot it from half court and nailed it like nothing.
Now it's just not even fair.
Nah.
What is it right now? 40 to what? I can't see.
40 to 26.
It's only 14. That's only 14. That's not terrible for as bad as you've been playing.
Oh, look, we turned it over. Don't you spoke too soon, my friend. That's been our problem this whole series, is turning it over. And we were one of the best teams at not turning it over.
Yeah, if you just joined us this week, we're watching the Magic game. So Brett could have been here. We're just watching the game anyways.
I'm just doing it for you, Brett.
And then you're already at a bar for if you have to drown your sorrows for once they live.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was about to hit it up from half court again. So who do we got on comments? Anybody say anything?
No,
Just watching.
Brett usually gets all the comments. I have a couple people on here that joined. It doesn't say like if they're still there or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. Have you been watching the NHL playoffs at all? Are you a hockey fan?
No, I'm not a big hockey fan. When it comes to playoffs, I love watching it though.
Yeah.
Because hockey playoffs are fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's been some crazy overtime games. There was I think it was Sharks and Vegas that were playing, and it's literally overtime. I think it was 1-1 or something like
2
that.
overtimes, didn't it go?
I think so, and it was ended on a shorthanded goal. Which if you're a team, if you don't know,
Really? Sure.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But in hockey, in the regular season, the overtime is 3-on-3, which I kind of like better. It's kind of more entertaining. But for the playoffs, they switch it back to 5-on-5. But if you have a power play, you're almost expecting like, okay, at least if we don't get a goal, we're not going to get scored on, especially in overtime. And then to give up a shorthanded goal. But it's just the announcing is great in it, like the play-by-play, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're really excited.
Yeah, I
Definitely if you listen like to the home team broadcast.
Yeah, I can't speak like too from a position of being too informed about it because I don't watch it for most of the regular season.
Yeah,
especially the Red Wings aren't as good anymore. But I'll definitely bet on it and I'll watch it in the playoffs.
I was shocked. I paid close enough attention to know that Tampa had tied the best record in NHL history and got swept.
With the Red Wings in 1995, yeah, and then they got swept.
And the Pittsburgh Penguins got swept with Sid the Kid.
Yeah.
Ovechkin's loving that.
I was gonna say, well, did you see? I think we talked about it last week. Ovechkin literally knocked the guy out.
That dude out. Yeah, I watched it.
And to even add insult to injury, the guy who he knocked out, which his name just looked like Ovechkin rearranged in different order, like the letters are the same. But the guy he knocked out, apparently Ovechkin was like his childhood idol. The kid was only 19.
You got knocked out by your idol.
Yeah, the kid was only 19 years old, never been in a fight in the NHL before. So you feel kind of bad for him. Like Ovechkin's not like.
Ovechkin's a big boy.
Yeah, he is, but I don't think about him as like a tough guy.
No, he's not like an enforcer.
He's more like finesse, but I mean, anybody can get knocked out. It's pretty much bare knuckle at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess back to the draft a little bit. Kyler Murray, I think, is like the presumptive number one. Everybody's been projecting that. So unless they're like really going out on a limb and trying to do like a huge smoke screen or whatever, I mean, sometimes teams will do that if you're drafting one and you know everybody wants this quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they just drafted Rosen last year, talking about the Cardinals who are drafting number one. But sometimes teams will put it out there like, oh, we love this guy, we're definitely taking him, even if they have no interest, because they want to kind of
see what they can get for him.
Yeah, they want to get. Well, yeah, they want to drive up the value of the pick and get other stupid teams to put up a huge haul for him.
Talking about Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, I heard that the Dolphins are interviewing and doing their research on Josh Rosen, just in case they decide to do it. So you Dolphin fans, you might get
Josh
Rosen instead of fat ass
Ryan Fitzpatrick
eating birthday cake.
Just like honestly, like who? If you're a Dolphins fan, who would you rather have this year? Kyler Murray. If there's any Dolphins fans watching,
well, it wouldn't be Kyler Murray. It'd be Josh
sorry,
Rosen.
not Kyler Murray. Would you rather have Josh Rosen or Ryan Fitzpatrick? I feel like
Josh Rosen for me.
I mean, just for the entertainment purposes alone, I feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick would be more entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get the five touchdown game, and then you're gonna get like the 6 interception game.
Yeah. With his beard sticking out.
That's why you said. I was just gonna say if you've seen him recently, that's why you called him.
The birthday cake, fat ass birthday cake.
If you heard what he said in his quotes, he's like, "Well, we got a bunch of birthdays for the kids. We got this one and this one, and they were all within a month." And it's like, wow, so it must like whatever month 8 months ago was or 9 months ago was, they must have like nothing to do at the Fitzpatrick household.
No football training or anything.
I didn't see any of the pictures or anything. I didn't really bother to look at it.
Friend, I gotta run to the restroom quick in
right.
the middle. I'm sorry.
No,
folks.
you're good.
It won't take very long.
If you want to grab a couple of shots, you can put it on my tab.
What do you want?
Just Jameson, and then just grab Coke back for a stretch, and then a Guinness if you want. We probably won't go too much longer. We're at like 45 right now, so probably like 15 minutes. Yeah, JJ's running to the bathroom real quick, going on a drink run. Usually it's me. He's sitting in my seat this week. I'm sitting where Brett usually sits, so that must be why, because normally it's around this time that I always have to go every week.
Brett's always the more professional one. Out of the
Yeah,
group.
yeah. I was thinking about wearing like a jacket and tie this week and everything like that, but
Class it up, bro.
yeah, class it up. Stay classy and go fuck yourself, Toronto. But yeah, other than the fact that I don't own either one of those things, a tie or a jacket, that might not surprise you, but I wasn't planning on doing that.
Wait, you don't own one tie or one jacket?
All right, so I own some ties, and this is funny enough. My tie is actually, all of them are actually still tied because I can't tie a tie. So they got tied for me one time.
Who tied them in the first place?
I don't remember, man. That's a woman or something like that. I don't know, either my mom or a girlfriend or something like that. And then they're all in my closet, like sitting down, and they're all tied. So I just put it over the top of my head, put it back up. I mean, you don't really have to wash the tie that often, do you?
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, so what's the point of untying it and then tying it back up again, you know? You never know when you're gonna have to wear it again. It could be years. It's been years for me.
I think people who have ties, though, usually have a bunch of them and they put them in a drawer. You're not going to be able to fit as many in if they're already tied.
Weirdly enough, and we're going off the topic of sports, we're going into my house now, but my room doesn't have a closet that has hangers and everything. I have cabinets. It's almost like the Seinfeld episode with Kramer, where he's talking to Jerry. He's talking about levels.
Yeah.
He's talking about building levels in his house. My house doesn't have my room, I should say, doesn't have a closet with traditional hangers. I think my room is the smaller of all three rooms because it used to be somebody's office. So it just has 5 cabinets up top. So all my shirts are rolled up and set in there. And then the ties, of course, are tied and they're laying down in there. Something that you would expect if you know me at all.
So every time you have to pull out a shirt, is it wrinkled or something?
No. So it's this whole technique. This is how do we get onto this? So after I do my laundry right away while it's still warm, I roll the shirts up, I fold it and I roll it up. And then if it's wrinkled when I pull it out, I'll throw it in the dryer for a couple minutes. I don't really like ironing either. I'm not good at ironing, but I'll just throw it in the dryer. So that's a life hack if you want. You can put your shirts in the dryer for a little bit. It'll de-wrinkle it. So anyways, NFL draft.
Those are questions they probably ask them before they're getting drafted in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That
Do you tie your own ties?
That and is your mother a prostitute?
Of course.
Oh man, you'll never guess the topic when you'll never guess what you missed. Literally, you would never guess.
Let me know what I missed.
No, it's not worth it. Don't.
It's not worth it. I'm gonna find out after the show.
Yeah. It's a tease. You got to go back and watch your own show and just fast forward 30 minutes.
Don't worry, I do that anyways.
You fast forward
with my kids.
You fast forward to the parts that you're not in.
Update: Magic are only down 21 now.
Well, that's more than last time we talked.
Yeah. I know. I'm just trying to be positive.
No, the last time it was 16. Kyler Murray's projected to go number 1. So we're at about 45 minutes in now, and we're pretty much just getting started. We're going to do a 7-round pick-by-pick mock draft between us two. So that's number 1. So it's just about 45 minutes per pick. So number 2.
Number 2 is your boy that I think is actually going to go.
Yeah,
Nick
this is just somebody's mock draft. I don't even really know what page I pulled up.
I think he's going to either go first or second.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that, and this is what I was talking earlier, I don't remember if it was on or off podcast, when people draft these quarterbacks in the first round and they're not even the best player. It's just if you don't have a quarterback, your team doesn't really matter. So you have to. That's why I think for the Dolphins, I have a lot of friends who are Dolphins fans, and I was just like, keep picking a quarterback every year, and it's kind of what people are kind of saying the Cardinals are. Not weird, I don't know what the word is, but the Cardinals would be stupid to pick a quarterback again, number 1. But it's if you don't think Josh Rosen is your quarterback after the first year, and you think you might have another one this year that you can draft number 1, just take him.
But do you think with that offensive line they had, that team, all they had was Larry Fitzgerald. David Johnson wasn't David Johnson.
Yeah, but Larry Fitzgerald, okay, you're saying, that's all they had, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying.
that's all they had.
Yeah.
And a first-year head coach.
Fair enough.
They gave no chance for it.
Fair enough, but if you get the first overall pick and the next year again, it's not like you're not going to take you can always keep both too.
Well, you can start trying to build. You're not going to have both because you got to have one to play to see what he's about.
The more that we talk about it, I kind of feel like they're not going to actually draft him. The only thing is that Cliff Kingsbury
was his old coach at Texas A&M.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, it could be that they do draft him and they just either trade Rosen which seems more likely to happen, to somebody like the Dolphins, who the Dolphins are just going to give up way too much for him. Like you talk about
that's what they do.
When you talk about good front offices and bad front offices, earlier we were talking about the Seahawks being one of the good ones, and I was talking about those other teams. This is the team I was talking about, like the Dolphins. But they're going to give up like 3 first-round picks or like a first in 2 seconds. Like much, he just got drafted number 1 overall. Sure.
I don't know if they're going to give up 2 firsts. I agree with maybe a first, a second next year, and maybe a second in 2 years.
I bet you if they do this is just all hypothetical, obviously, but I bet you they would give up this year's first, which would be moving, which the Cardinals will be moving back 7 picks, I think, or the Dolphins 13, so they move back.
Yeah,
like
they're 13.
They move back 12 picks, and I guarantee you they'd also give up another first and a second probably. Which is they're just gonna give up too much.
They'll have that first pick and the 13th pick, but they're definitely going to give up too much. But that's what you have to do if you believe that that's your franchise quarterback. You got to get that franchise quarterback.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're still fighting right now.
But that's what I was saying about the That's what I was saying about the Cardinals, though. If you think Kyler Murray's the guy, then just take him. Don't worry about like people are telling you not to use your.
But you also need to fill your team out. If you don't got an offensive line, and as a Lions fan, you know this. Your quarterback could be great, but he can't do anything because he's on his back the whole time.
Yeah,
Matthew Stafford's a beast.
Stafford is, I don't even know what to think about Stafford at this point.
I think Stafford is the top 6-7 quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
he just has no help.
I think that's a little bit high. I don't know. He just makes for being in the league as long as he's been in there, he just makes too many stupid mistakes.
Well, when you're under pressure and you got a big 350-pound lineman coming down on you,
yeah, but all the
you're gonna make whatever mistake you can not to get hit by that boy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, baby, how's it going?
Such a good boy.
My wife is in.
Such a good boy.
Hey, Aiden, Ariel. In case y'all just tuned in, we were talking about earlier about Ariel's 10-goal soccer game. Olympics 2023.
Yeah, JJ's what's
2032.
What's the field that it's at? JJ says he's going to start taking bets on the game.
YMCA down on Blanchard Park.
He's going to start what's the age group? 3 to 5. 3 to 5. He's going to start handicapping 3 to 5-year-old games.
My daughter's a 5-goal handicap, baby.
What would the over-unders be in those soccer games? What are the scores? What do the scores usually look like?
2 weeks ago it was 1-0. My daughter got the only goal. And then last week, I don't know what it was. No, it was 1-0 last week. 2 weeks ago it was 1-0. Last week, my daughter's team got 14 goals. Yeah, I'm not sure what the other team
How did
got.
she go from scoring? Did she score the goal 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So how did she go from only scoring 1 to scoring 10?
I don't know. The other team wasn't as good as the team 2 weeks ago.
10 times worse, in fact.
Yeah. I practiced with her.
Nick Bosa is the one everybody's saying is going to go to. Him and Quinnen Williams. Like, if you're taking quarterbacks out of it, like the projected best players in the draft.
What do you think about the Houston guy, Ed Oliver?
I saw him going to Detroit in some mock drafts, and honestly, I think he could be better than Bosa and Quinnen Williams. But he had this whole weird thing the last year he was in Houston, like for most of the season, to where he was getting into fights with coaches. He had that whole thing where his coach, he was wearing a jacket on the sideline when he was hurt.
Oh, yeah, the Letterman jacket, right?
Well, just like the jacket that keeps you warm, like you want to do when you're cold. And the coach is like, oh, those are for only people who are starting. And I'm like,
yeah, that was retarded.
Okay, so the school can afford to pay this dumbass coach like however many millions. It's Houston, so I'm sure it's not that many. But so you can afford to pay the coach this much money, but you can't afford jackets for all the players, even only the starters. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
He was just pissed at him.
Yeah,
they got in that argument.
Yeah, they're getting. He's making the coach look bad, and the coach is trying to like exert his power over the guy. But yeah, I think that's the only reason. Well, this mock draft has him going 3rd, but I've seen ones where he's going as low as like 8.
So just off topic 1 second, talking about coaches exerting power.
That's what we do. Yeah, go ahead.
What about Tom Izzo? Do you think what he did in the middle of the court to what was his name? Was anything bad?
No, I don't have really any issue with that. I mean, when you go to Michigan State or some of these schools, you know what you're getting into. Are there better ways that he could talk to his players? I'm sure there are, but it seemed to have gotten results so far. Like, there's no need to. This is basically my boiled down thought on it. He didn't need to do it, but I don't think as long as the player is okay with it, which I'm sure if you talk to the player in his honest moments, he'd be like, that's fine. He's just coaching. That's how he coaches. Is there a better way he could have done it? Yes. Do I have a problem with it? Not really.
Yeah, I'm good. Neither do I. I'm just trying to get a topic that we can argue about, give the fans a little show, but we agree with them.
LeBron Jordan?
LeBron Jordan.
That's
Jordan, baby.
That's always a good one. I'm on the LeBron side. I was kidding.
No, you would be.
I've done that 1,000 times.
Everybody can argue about that.
Was it off podcast last week that I said Steph Curry was better than Larry Bird?
No, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. I should save that one too for when Brett comes back. What the one
You're
that
insane.
So I had I didn't. So he said that I said that Dwayne Wade was better than Kobe. I said it wasn't crazy to compare the two. And all I said with Steph Curry is he handles better than Larry Bird. I know they played different positions, but what was Larry Bird known for? Was shooting.
Popping threes.
Okay, what's Steph Curry better than Larry Bird at?
I don't know.
Shooting threes.
He is a little better.
So that was my only argument. I don't think it's crazy.
Larry Bird's got more of an edge.
That's what I do when I throw a take out there, and I think people are going to disagree with them. I didn't say it was true. I didn't think it's crazy to say it.
That's what I say.
I'm just saying it's not insane to say this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not like I'm talking about who was it? Jared Dudley and Joel Embiid. It's like, can you pick on somebody besides? I know Embiid kind of does it. He kind of does it to everybody, but can you pick on somebody besides Jared Dudley?
Yeah, Jared Dudley.
If you heard the sound of it, is like in the sideline interview, the reporter asked Embiid, he's like, "What happened with the whole Jared Dudley thing?" He's like, "Well, first of all, he's a nobody."
Yeah.
Like, that's how you start off the comment. Is first of all, he's a nobody.
He's a nobody.
He's like, "I mean more to my team than he does to his." I'm like, "Yeah, you're Joel Embiid. He's Jared Dudley. I didn't know he was in the league anymore."
See, I can't stand people like that.
Like Embiid or
Yeah.
Jared Dudley?
No, I don't even know Jared Dudley enough to say I can't stand people like that. I like Joel Embiid's, his always wanting to be in the media, always asserting himself. Hey, this is who I am. I do like that. But don't go pick on some guy that can't even clean up your fucking gym shorts.
Well, the only defense I would have for him is he does it to everybody. He doesn't really. He'll do it to Kyrie. He'll do it to other players too.
And Jared Dudley started that by talking bad about Ben Simmons.
Well, he has to bring something.
But all he said is Ben Simmons can't shoot, and Ben Simmons can't shoot.
Yeah.
What is he supposed to say? Just lie?
But he's supposed to stick up for his teammate.
He said he's only a lead in transition. He can't play well in a half-court set.
Is that not true?
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah, it's fine.
So just speaking the truth is what it
So
sounds.
he didn't have to. So I mean, I guess technically all they both did is tell the truth about each other. So is that like a basketball fight nowadays? Is that the verbal version of a basketball fight, where it sounds a lot? Yeah, your wife said that they watched for 3.5 seconds. They're watching whatever the kids watch nowadays. I don't know. Bubble Guppies?
Nah, my kids don't watch that no more.
I don't know what that is. I don't know anything.
Bubble, yippee.
What is
It's
it?
Guppies.
Baby Shark song?
No, hell no, I don't want them to hear that song.
Have they never heard it?
Yeah, they've heard it, but
They
don't get hooked on stuff like that.
No? Too busy scoring 10 goals?
Yeah, too busy practicing.
You got them.
I was out there today with my son at the T-ball field practicing.
You got them out back doing drills and stuff.
Damn
You got
right.
Creatine and the cornflakes.
That's Dan and Amber. You were there for the Cowboys Redskins game, weren't you?
At your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the halftime, I went outside, started doing obstacle courses with the kids. They were still wanting to do it when the game started back. I don't care about that game now. I want to do this with my kids.
Ate and asked for a juice box. You made them do push-ups before
Yeah.
you got it. It was weird.
Right, one-handed.
It was like the first half hour of Full Metal Jacket. It was very weird. On that note, this has been Analytically Correct. Thank JJ for coming in again this week. It looks like his Magic are about to get swept, so we'll have...
Yeah. No, not swept. We won a game, unlike your Pistons got swept.
Sorry, I have PTSD. That's all I can think about right now. Just a quick side story. Two of my coworkers, one is a Penguins fan and one is an Islanders fan. They live together, obviously. And after the Islanders swept the Penguins, one of my roommates got home from work, and the other one had put like a broom up against his bathroom door and another broom up against his wall for the sweep. But yeah, this has been Analytically Correct. Thanks everybody for watching. Come out and support Shamrock Liquors over on University Public House, right behind the Del Taco, whatever that is over there. Thanks JJ again. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much for watching.
Hey guys, fuck Toronto. Stay classy, Orlando.
That is why you're not in Bundesliga.
That's right, not the Bundesliga.